Hey everyone, Draco Magnius here for the next Let's Play poll video. This is going to work pretty much exactly like the October Month of Madness and Horror one. First I'm going to show the trailer, then I'm going to go over a brief review of the game synopsis, points here and there about it, the like. But without further ado, let's get started.
Something for your next mission that I'm particularly proud of, 007. You're not afraid of spiders, are you?
Oh, James.
And first on the list we have 007's Everything or Nothing. To start this off, I'm going to read the prologue in the game manual. Yes, that's right. This game is from a time when physical game manuals were in your game, that you could actually physically pick up and read, instead of being in the game in some sort of digital form or going to a website to find the game manual. A simpler time. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to start with the introduction here, the prologue, which reads out like a mission briefing, so I'm going to read it like M would read it to James Bond. Greetings, 007. We have a new mission for you that's of the greatest importance. The recent theft of the Oxford University's highly classified prototype nanorobot project and disappearance of its overseer, Dr. Katyana Nadanova, has caused chaos in the global intelligence community. This nanobot project was a humanitarian effort intended to facilitate the remote inspection and repair of hazardous nuclear containment facilities. However, in the wrong hands, this technology could be used for entirely more sinister purposes. This is where you come in, Bond. We've already identified the rogue political faction responsible for the theft and tracked them to a secret facility in Egypt's Sahara Desert. Your mission, 007, is to destroy both the hardware and the facility. The fate of the world may very well rest once again on your success. Good luck, 007. So Everything or Nothing is a third-person shooter game on the GameCube. I think it was also on like the PS2, and I think also on the Game Boy Advance, though I never played the Game Boy Advance one. The only reason I know of its existence at all is because, well, when looking up images to find, there was a picture of the case. I'm like, no way, really? But I digress. Now, like I said, this is a bit of an older game, so I don't know how well it's aged, but I remember it being a lot of fun. Because you get all sorts of unique and interesting gadgets, because it is a Bond game, which is included, but not limited to, a motorcycle with flamethrowers, as seen in the trailer, the the small spider robot that shoots darts, it explodes, has other upgrades and such, and other such interesting gadgets. But I think that pretty much covers it for Everything or Nothing. So, on to the next game then, shall we?
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things.
I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive.
A man builds a city at the bottom of the sea. That's a marvel. Another man happens to be on a plane that crash lands on the same city in the middle of the ocean. Why, that sounds more like a miracle.
What separates a man from a slave? Would you kindly?
Next up, we have Bioshock. From the Bioshock collection. This is a remake of an older game that was on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, so not that much older. Roughly around the same time as the last game, except the last game hasn't been remade, to my knowledge. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Bioshock, the basic synopsis for it is that Jack is going back to see his family, flying over, I think it's the Atlantic Ocean? Don't quote me on that. It is a ocean. Anyway, back to the point here. He's flying back home to his parents. He opens a letter with a picture that he got from them, and suddenly the plane crashes into the ocean. Luckily for him, there's a nearby lighthouse. But that lighthouse seems to be connected to the underwater city of Rapture. And the rest of the game is you traveling through Rapture, trying to find a way to safety, because there's all sorts of crazy monster people running around with superpowers. And big scary diver suit people with drills and guns that want you dead. It's technically a horror game, but I never really considered it a horror game, which is why we're playing it now as opposed to playing it during the October month of madness and horror. Granted, it could totally go in the month of madness and horror, but I don't know, I feel like it's more of an action game than a horror game, because you get a lot of opportunities to fight off these monsters, and a decent portion of them are loaded with ammo. I mean, sometimes you might be hurting for ammo, but if you've picked up enough money, you can buy them from vending machines, so you're never really hurting. That being said, it's a really fun game, and I enjoy it. Another side note, as you may or may not know, I've done, Let's Reads of the Drakengard novellas. I've only really done the character novellas so far and uploaded it. I was working on, The Song of 14 Years. I haven't gotten the time to work on it anymore, but I do want to get back to that. But the reason I bring it up is because there's actually a Bioshock novel. It takes place before the game. Granted, there'd be some spoilers here and there, so if I do it alongside this game, I would have to, be wary of when episodes come out and possible spoilers. But I thought it'd be a fun thing to do a Let's Read of the novel. That being said, it's going to take a lot of work to get those videos started. So, I don't know if I'm going to do it now, but it is something I would like to do possibly in the future. Maybe alongside this, we'll have to see how you guys feel about that. But that's really all I can say about Bioshock, so let's move on to our next game on the list.
My first guinea pig.
Father, look out!
You watch.
You can leave me out of this, thank you. What brings you here?
blimey, Grandad, where'd you spring from? Cool, blimey! It is time we brought this little show to an end. Now, taste my true power!
Voila! Le poof poof.
Cool, blimey!
And next up, we have Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King on the 3DS. As you may or may not know, I've done a Let's Play of the original game that was on the PS2. I want to play this remake for a couple of reasons. The remake adds some things that I really, really enjoy. One of the two things being that Red and Mori are now playable characters in the game with their own skill trees like the rest of your party. Mori can use, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head, he can use claws, fans, which is a brand new weapon set that was introduced alongside claws. I think he can also use boomerangs, but I'm not 100% on that one. Red, on the other hand, uses fans, knives, and whips. So basically Jessica's moveset, but with fans added on. That being said, though, Mori and Red have abilities that are unique to them specifically in things they share with other people. For example, if I'm remembering correctly, Red has a knife move that Jessica doesn't have, and some whip moves she doesn't have, while Mori has boomerang moves that the main character does not. On top of this, there's a lot more armors in the game that change the cosmetic appearance of your characters. No longer is it just isolated to Jessica and the main character. The main character, if I'm remembering correctly, has four different new cosmetic changing outfits. Jessica's all the same that she had before, because, I mean, they're not going to replace them. Yangus has one. Angelo has one. Mori has one. Red has one. Everybody has at least one, with main character and Jessica having the most, of course. So I would like to show that off to you. Another change, if I'm remembering off the top of my head, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly, is the alchemy pot just works instantly. But with all that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the final game that is on our list for the poll today.
Peggy 16.
You are truly as he anticipated. This is truly an unjust game. But if my voice is reaching you, I beg you, please overcome this game and save the world.
I'll navigate your escape route. Follow my directions. Enemies here?
Suspect confirmed. Cuff him.
It can't be.
Think that all those crimes were led by a punk like this. You seem to be enjoying every second.
You transferred to Shujin Academy, correct?
I feel like we're gonna get along just fine as troublemakers.
Looks like you'll just have to live a normal, honest school life for the time being. Still, make sure you stay prepared just in case anything comes up.
Okay, let's do this!
I'm prepared. Let's focus and get moving. This is the best part of being a phantom thief! Yep, good stuff. I'm satisfied.
Spotted a shadow. Let's get it, Joker!
The shadows are ready to kill. Be careful, Joker. Beat him up!
Allow me to observe the path of your rehabilitation. Gather personas and bring them here. Execute them and continue to give birth to even stronger personas. The world is not as it should be. It faces an inevitable utter ruin. However, mankind is said to hold the power to overturn even the most dire of predicaments.
PS4 for the players.
Alright, next up is Persona 5. You may be wondering, Draco, why Persona 5 specifically? Why start at 5? 5 came out this year, 2017, as of this recording anyway. I don't know if it's going to be 2017 by the time I upload this, but we'll see. Anyway, why Persona 5? Persona 5 is actually the first Persona game I've ever played. I've also played Persona 3 now on an emulator. I haven't played all the way through it, but I wanted to get a taste for it, see if I liked it. I might play Persona 3 in the future, but not right now. I feel like I should start playing the Persona games with the one I started with. And I really enjoy Persona 5. If you like the game Bully, for example, my most viewed game on this channel, my most viewed Let's Play, you'll probably like Persona 5. Because Persona 5 is a similar high school setting where you're running around going through the things that you go through in high school. It's not exactly the same. I can't compare it like, oh yeah, this is basically Bully. I can't do that in good consciousness because it's not. It's its own game. The settings are very similar. You're the outcast kid, you come to a new school because you've hit hard times. This is the only school that'll accept you, so you have no choice but to go to this school. And if you F up so spectacularly, you get dropped out of the school and your life is ruined. Now, the thing that separates this from Bully, as opposed to being an open-world game like Rockstar usually does, this is a turn-based RPG when you're in fighting scenarios, where you're fighting demons and eldritch horrors and other sorts of interesting, unique creatures. This doesn't take place till it's pretty early in the game, but it's not like right away you'll be battling these creatures in turn-based RPGs. There's also a social system. Your party members, you get closer to them, you unlock different abilities, and you get them stronger and yourself stronger by doing this, and it's a really interesting system. The trailer goes into a lot of the features that are in the game. I just gave you a brief summary to touch on things that, in all honesty, when I'm recording this, I don't recall off the top of my head all the things the trailer puts in it, but I wanted to touch on the things that this game has over the others. Well, with all that said and done, we go to the closing of this. I'll see you in just a moment. Alright, and those are our games. The little eye icon should be in the upper right corner now. It was probably up the entire time because, again, I'm not 100% sure how these cards are supposed to work. But it's up there. So hit the eye icon. Hard to say. Click whichever game you want to vote for, and by the time I finish with all of the Ni No Kuni bonus episodes, that's when we're going to be closing the poll. So, again, please vote, and I'll see you when the next Let's Play comes up.